Hello everyone, hope you are all doing good. My name is Amrita Davis, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry, Christ College of Engineering, Irinjalakuda. In this video, I am going to discuss some questions from Chem 2017, Paper 1 Chemistry. Hoping that this will help in your Chem 2020 preparations. First of all, I will show you each questions and then explain how we will reach into its answer. So, let's start the discussion then. We have question 1. Energy of an electron in the 3s orbital excited state of hydrogen atom is. We have 5 options. Option A minus 1.5 electron volt. Option B minus 13.6 electron volt. Option C minus 3.4 electron volt. Option D minus 4.53 electron volt. And option E 4.53 electron volt. Here answer is answer B. Let's see how we will reach into this answer. Energy of an electron in the nth orbital of hydrogen atom is given by the equation E is equal to minus 13.6 Z square by n square electron volt, where n is the orbital number or principal quantum number and Z is the number of proton involved. Okay, so consider hydrogen atom. We know that atomic number of hydrogen atom is equal to 1, which means inside hydrogen atom the nucleus contains 1 proton and 1 neutron. So the number of protons involved in hydrogen atom Z is equal to 1, and also it's given that it includes in 3s orbital. So orbital number or principal quantum number n is equal to 3 because it is inside the 3s orbital. Then substitute the values Z and n inside this main equation. We have E is equal to minus 13.6 into 1 square divided by 3 square. And we will get answer, that is minus 1.5 electron volt. So in order to solve this question, you should remember this equation, which is E equal to minus 13.6 Z square by n square, where Z is the number of proton and n is the orbital number or principal quantum number. Okay, question 2. Which of the following pair have identical bond order? Option A Cn minus and NO plus. Option B Cn minus and O2 minus. Option C Cn minus and Cn plus. Option D NO plus and O minus. Option E O2 minus and Cn plus. Our answer is answer A, that is Cn minus and NO plus. How we will find this answer? For pairs having identical bond order, will always have identical number of electrons. So in order to solve this question, find the number of electrons involved in each case. Number of electron for Cn minus, how we will find the number of electron in Cn minus? Add number of electron in carbon, nitrogen as well as negative charge. And negative charge means 1 electron is added into the system. So we have to add plus 1. A positive charge means 1 electron is removed from the system. So we have to subtract minus 1. So here the total number of electron in Cn minus, which is equal to number of electron in carbon, which is equal to atomic number of carbon, which is 6 plus 7, which is from nitrogen's atomic number, and plus 1. This plus 1 is from minus negative charge. So total 14 electron. Then number of electrons for NO plus, which is equal to 7. Atomic number of nitrogen plus 8. Atomic number of oxygen minus 1. This minus 1 is from positive charge. So total 14 electron. Number of electron for O2 minus is equal to, here we have 2 oxygen and a negative charge. So 8 plus 8 plus 1 negative charge. So plus 1, which is equal to 17. From this result, it is understood that the Cn minus and NO plus have the identical bond order because they have the identical number of electrons. So answer is clear. Beyond that, we have an equation to calculate bond order. That is, bond order is equal to number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital minus number of electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbital divided by 2. You need not remember this equation, but remember this table. That is, if number of electrons equal to 14, then bond order of that molecule will be 3. Always 3. Remember, if number of electron is 4, then bond order will be 3. If number of electron is 13, then bond order will be 0.5, decreased from this value 3, that is 2.5, 0.5 decrease. If number of electron is 15, again 0.5 decrease. If number of electron is 12, again 0.5 decrease, that is total 0.5 decrease, then 2, value 2. If 11, again 1.5. 10, 1, that is in each step decrease by 0.5. Similarly, 15, 2.5, 16, you have to remember 2, 17, it is again decrease 0.5, 1.5, 18, it is 1. So remember this table. If the number of electron is 14, then bond order 3. 13 and 15, it is 2.5. 12 and 16, it is 2. 11 and 17, it is 1.5. 10 and 18, it is 1. So, need not to solve the bond order using this equation, but remember this table. It will help you in questions regarding this bond order. Okay, so our answer is A, that is Cn minus and NO plus, because both having the same number of electrons. Together with this, I am going to discuss two more points. Okay, that is how bond order is related to bond strength and stability. That is, bond order is directly proportional to stability, which means as bond order increases, stability also increases. And the bond order is inversely proportional to bond length. That is, as bond order increases, bond length decreases. So we have bond orders with us, then we have to compare the stability as well as bond length. If question comes like this, compare the stability and compare the bond length, you have to find the bond order, which is discussed in the previous slide. Okay. So question 3, among the following, the molecule that will be having the highest dipole moment is option A, hydrogen, option B, HI, option C, HBr, option D, HCl, and option E, HF. Here, what answer will be the answer? E. How we will find this answer? Dipole moment is directly proportional to difference in electronegativity of bonded atom. That is, as the electronegativity between two bonded atoms increases, its dipole moment value also increases. Okay. So, in our question, the given compounds are from halogen family. So, what will be the electronegativity order in halogen family? In halogen family, we have fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. What will be the electronegativity order? Fluorine greater than chlorine, greater than bromine, greater than iodine. That is, iodine having the least electronegativity and fluorine have the high highest electronegativity among halogen family. So, HF, the bond between hydrogen and fluorine, will show the highest dipole moment because the electronegativity difference between hydrogen and fluorine become high or become the highest value. So, HF will show highest dipole moment, followed by HCl, followed by HBr and HI, and finally we have hydrogen. Okay, so HF will show the highest dipole moment, then chlorine, then bromine contain HBr, then HI, then hydrogen. Then so we have the question number 4. The molality of the 3 molar solution of methanol if the density of the solution is 0.9 gram per centimeter cube, which is equal to option A 3.73, option B 3.0, option C 3.33, option D 3.1, option E 3.2. Here answer is answer A. How we will find this answer? For that we have an equation for molarity, because the question is given in terms of molarity. So molarity is equal to number of moles divided by volume of solution in liter. Always remember volume in 1 liter. Already number of moles have another equation, number of moles, which is equal to mass given divided by molar mass. So molarity becomes mass given divided by molar mass divided by volume of solution in liter, in 1 liter. In our question, molarity, the value of molarity, which is already given. Molar mass of the solution, which we can find using its molecular mass. Okay, adding molecular mass, that I will tell you later. Volume of solution, how we will find the volume of solution? For that, it is given that density is given, and we know that density is equal to mass by volume. Okay, mass by volume. From this volume of solution, it is equal to mass of solution by density of solution. So first of all, in order to calculate volume of solution from density, you should know what will be the mass of solution. Then substitute this volume of solution in this equation. We should know this molar mass from its molecular mass. Molarity is already given. Then find mass given. Then substitute in molality equation. Okay. So this is our molarity equation, and we are going to substitute the values and find what will be the mass given. So first of all, we have to find the volume of solution in liter. For that, a hint is given. What will be that is the density is given. From density, we have to find volume of solution. So in order to find the volume of solution, you should know mass of solution. How we will find mass of solution? Consider if X percentage mass of solute is with us, that means X gram solute dissolve in 100 gram of solution. If X percentage mass is already with us, then it means X gram dissolve in 100 gram of solution. We have equation for molarity, that is molarity is equal to mass given divided by molar mass divided by volume of solution in liter. In this, molarity is already given in our problem, which is 3 molar. And volume of solution, in order to find the volume of solution, our hint, that is density 0.3 gram per centimeter, 0.9 gram per centimeter cube. Okay. Okay. So volume of solution in liter, how we will find? Using this density, mass by density. Always remember the density should be in liter. Here density is given in gram per centimeter cube. So we have to convert it into liter. How we will convert gram per centimeter cube into gram per liter? Divide using 1000 or divided by 10 cube 1000. Okay. So consider X gram of methanol is with us. Consider X percentage methanol is with us and it is dissolved in 100 gram solution. If X percentage methanol is with us, then X gram methanol dissolved in 100 gram of solution. So mass of solution will be 100 gram. Density of solution 0.9 gram per centimeter cube. So in order to convert gram per centimeter cube, 0.9 by 1000. Then molar mass, how we will find the molar mass of methanol? By adding the molecular mass of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, because methanol is CH3OH. Methanol is CH3OH, molecular formula. So molar mass will be molecular mass of carbon, hydrogen and oxygens. So here carbon molecular mass 12 plus hydrogen 3. So add plus 3. Oxygen plus 16. Hydrogen plus 1. Altogether 32. So what will be the molar mass? 32. Molarity is given. Molar mass we find out, that is 32. Mass of solution we consider 100 gram. X percentage, that is X gram in 100 gram. So mass of solution 100. Density is already given. Then we have to find X percentage. So substitute all the values. Molarity 3. Mass given we have to find, that is X percentage or X gram, divided by molar mass of methanol 32, adding molecular mass of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. Okay, divided by mass of solution we considered X percentage, so mass of solution will be 100, divided by density. Density it is given in gram per centimeter cube. So convert 0.9 by 1000. In order to convert gram per centimeter cube into gram per liter, divide using 1000, 0.9,000. From this, first to find out the value of X percentage or mass given. So cross multiply and solving this equation, X become equal to 10.66. Mass given which is equal to 10.66. Okay. So our question is to calculate molality. So from molarity and other values, we find the value of mass given and substitute the value of X or mass given in the equation of molality. What will be the equation for molality? Small letter m, which is equal to number of moles divided by mass of solvent in kilogram. Mass of solvent in kilogram. Okay. So number of moles we already know, it is equal to mass given divided by molar mass. Mass given we already find it out, which is equal to 10.66. Molar mass of methanol, which is already known to us, that is by adding molecular mass of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, because CH3OH is the molecular formula for methanol. So adding each molecular mass, it will be equal to 32. And how we will find the mass of solvent? A solution is formed from mixing a solute with a solvent, right? So mass of solution will be equal to mass of solute plus mass of solvent. From this mass of solvent, what will be the equation? Mass of solution minus mass of solute. A solution is formed from solute and solvent. So mass of solvent, how we will find? Subtract the value of solute from solution. Then we will find the mass of solvent, which is in kilogram. If the values are given in gram, unit gram, we have to convert it into kilogram. How we will convert gram into kilogram? Again divided by 1000. Okay, convert gram into kilogram by divide using 1000, 10 cube. Okay, so molality, you have to find the molality. M is equal to mass given, which is already we find it out already, 10.6 divided by molar mass of methanol 32, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Mass of solution we considered X percentage, that is 10.6 percentage, that is 10.6 dissolve in 100 gram solution. So mass of solution 100 gram, mass of solute 10.6, we find it out, okay, which is in gram. So in order to convert gram into kilogram, divided by 1000. So final answer will be 3.73 molar. So in this question, molarity and density is given. So consider X percentage, that is X gram dissolve in, X gram solute dissolve in 100 gram solution. First we find the value of mass given. Then from the value of mass given, substitute it in molality equation, we can find the molality. So initial step is finding the mass given, X mass given. Then by substituting its value, we will find the molality. Okay. Question 5. Consider the equilibrium obtained by electrically connecting zinc amalgam electrode and HGO electrode in a mercury cell. Its cell reaction is already given. Zn amalgam, that is zinc amalgam plus HGO gives, reversible arrow gives Zn oxide plus Hg. Question is, under this equilibrium, what is the relation between the potential of zinc amalgam electrode and HGO electrode is measured against the standard hydrogen electrode? It is a little bit length question. Okay. Option A, and what zinc are the amalgam electrode is equal to HGO electrode potential. Okay. Option B, zinc amalgam potential is more than HGO potential. Option C, HGO potential is more than zinc amalgam potential. Option D, cell voltage is equal to 1.35 volt. Option E, that is both C and D, that is HGO potential is more than zinc amalgam potential and cell voltage is 1.35. What will be the answer? Your answer is answer A. Here the question is a little bit lengthy, but the answer is very simple. That is answer A. That is both the potentials are same. How we will reach into this answer? If equilibrium reaction is considered for an equilibrium cell, the value of E0 cell always equal to 0. We know that E0 cell, we have an equation for E0 cell. All of you know E0 cell is equal to E0 cathode minus E0 anode. If E0 cell becomes equal to 0, then E0 cathode becomes equal to E0 anode. So among our electrodes, zinc amalgam electrode and HGO electrode, when it is an equilibrium condition, the main point is equilibrium condition. So the potential at anode and potential at cathode. Both are become equal. So there is no doubt that is the potential of single HGO electrode and the potential of our zinc amalgam electrode both become equal, then answer is A. So the concept is, or its answer is mainly focused in this equilibrium condition. Equilibrium condition, value of E0 cell 0, so E cathode and E0 anode become equal. So both the potential, HGO electrode potential and zinc amalgam potential both becomes equal. So answer is very simple, that is answer A. Both electrodes, zinc amalgam electrode potential equal to HGO electrode potential. Okay, question number 6. It is coming from again the bond order concept. Bond order. The common features among CO, Cn minus and NO2 plus are: option A, bond order is 3 and isoelectronic. Isoelectronic means identical number of electrons. Option B, bond order 3, weak field ligand. Option C, bond order 2 and pi acceptors. Option D, bond order 3 and pi donors. Option E, isoelectronic and strong field ligand. Answer is answer A. So how we will find this answer? For a species having same number of electron will always have same bond order. We already told this concept. Same number of identical number of electron having the same or identical bond order. So in order to solve this question, we have to find the number of electrons again. So number of electrons CO, how we will find? Atomic number of carbon plus atomic number of oxygen. 6 plus 8, 14 electron. Then atomic number of electrons in Cn minus. Atomic number of carbon plus nitrogen, then a negative charge. If a negative charge is there, then add plus 1. So altogether 14 electron. Number of electron from NO plus, which is equal to nitrogen atomic number 7 plus oxygen 8 minus 1. A positive charge is there, so minus 1. Subtract, positive charge is there, subtract 1. Altogether 14. So from this result, from the value of number of electrons, all the given species are CO, Cn minus, NO plus, all having the same number of electrons, which are known as isoelectronic. If the number of electrons are same, then they have the same bond order. So option A, calculate the number of electron. So you will find that number of electrons are same. So it is known as isoelectronic. If the number of electrons are same, then having the same bond order. Then we already discussed if number of electron is 14. I already told you to remember one table. If number of electron is 14, then bond order will be 3. The value of bond order will be 3. Or we can find the bond order using the equation number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital minus number of electrons in anti-bonding orbital.
10 gram of magnesium carbonate decomposes
remember
on
this
heating
equation. Just
to
remember the table.
1 mole carbon
If the number of
dioxide
electron is
and
14,
4 gram
then bond order 3.
magnesium oxide.
If 13,
What will be the
0.5
percentage
degrees.
of purity
If,
of
15,
magnesium
0.5
carbonate?
degrees. Similarly, it goes on. So,
Option A
answer
24%,
is
option
A,
B
isoelectronic
44%, option C 54%, option D 74%,
and option E 84%.
here answer is answer E.
How we will find its answer? So it is given that magnesium carbonate decomposition. Magnesium carbonate decompose into MgO and carbon dioxide. It is given that magnesium carbonate decompose into 4 gram MgO and 0.1 mole carbon dioxide. So first we have to find the number of moles of MgO from this given mass 4 gram. We have an equation for number of moles. Number of moles of MgO is equal to, which is equal to mass given divided by molar mass. remember the equation for number of moles, which is always applicable in various questions. Okay, number of moles MgO is equal to mass given divided by molar mass. Mass given for MgO is 4 gram divided by molar mass. How we will find the molar mass of MgO? By adding molecular mass of magnesium and oxygen. Molecular mass of magnesium is 24, molecular mass of oxygen is 16. Altogether 24 plus 16, 14. So molecular mass or molar mass is 14. 4 by 40 is equal to 0.1 mole. So already carbon dioxide is 0.1 mole, and MgO from given mass 4 gram, we find it out the number of mole, that is again 0.1 mole, which means carbon dioxide is 0.1 mole, MgO is 0.1 mole, which means we have 0.1 magnesium carbonate. Okay. Magnesium carbonate decomposes into 0.1 mole MgO and 0.1 mole carbon dioxide, which means we have 0.1 mole Mg carbonate, magnesium carbonate, and it is decomposed into equally 0.1 and 0.1. Okay. So from the number of moles of magnesium carbonate, find the mass of magnesium carbonate using the same equation. Cross multiply the same equation. Number of moles, we have mass given divided by molar mass. So mass of magnesium carbonate, number of moles, which is already find it out in the last step. We already find number of moles. So using number of moles, find the mass of magnesium carbonate, which is equal to number of moles into molar mass. Molar mass of magnesium carbonate, which is equal to molecular mass of magnesium 24 plus carbon 12 plus 3 oxygen 16 into 3, which is 48. Okay, altogether it is 84. So number of moles from previous step 0.1. Okay, 0.1 into 84 molar mass, we have 8.5 gram. So we find mass of magnesium carbonate, and from this mass of magnesium carbonate, percentage of purity is equal to mass given divided by given mass into 100. Mass given, we find out 8.4. Given mass, which is in problem. If 10 gram, then what will be the percentage of purity? 10 gram is the given mass into 100, which is 84. This is our answer, 84. So in this problem, it is done by 3 steps. First, find the number of moles of magnesium carbonate using the number of mole of magnesium oxide, and from the number of moles of magnesium carbonate from the first step. Second step, find the mass of magnesium carbonate. Then from the mass of magnesium carbonate, in the third step, find the percentage of purity using the equation mass given divided by given mass. Given mass is from our problem. Okay. So question number 8 here, that is compound 84 Na2CO3.XH2O has 5% water by mass. The value of X will be option A 4, option B 5, option C 6, option D 7, option E our 8. Answer is answer C. How we will find this answer? 5% of water, 50% of water by mass, which means 50% of solute and 50% of water. 50% water by mass, which means 50% solute and 50% water. 50% of solute and 50% of water means 50 gram solute and 50 gram water. 50 gram solute in 50 gram water. Okay. So total mass will be, mass of solution will be 100 gram. 50% solute and 50% water, that is a solvent. Altogether 100 gram solution. Okay. So 50% water by mass means 50% solute, 50% water. Then what will be the 50% solute? 50 gram in 100 gram solution. What will be the 50% water? 50 gram water in 100 gram solution. Okay. So we are going to compare the number of moles of water and solute. Okay, water and solute. Our solute is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. Okay, so N1 by N2. N1 is number of moles of water divided by number of moles of solute, sodium carbonate. So number of moles is equal to mass given divided by molar mass of water. Number of moles of sodium carbonate is equal to mass given divided by molar mass of sodium carbonate. So it is given that 50 solute, gram solute and 50 gram water. So W1 will be 50 and W2 will be 50. It is 50-50 solute and water. Sodium carbonate and water 50-50 mass given. Then molar mass will be equal to, for water it's equal to 18. 2 hydrogens plus oxygen, altogether 18. Sodium carbonate, sodium molecular mass 23, 2 sodiums are there, so 23 into 2, carbon 12, oxygen 3 oxygens are there, so 3 into 16, altogether 106. So substitute the values in equation. W1 by molar mass of W1, which is water, divided by W2 into molar mass of W2, then which is sodium. We have substitute N1 by N2, which is become equal to 5.8, which is approximately equal to 6. That is N1 by N2, value of N1 by N2 equal to 6. So N1 become equal to 6 and 2, right? N1 by N2 equal to 6. So N1 equal to 6 and 2 cross multiply, which means the value of X equal to 6. Value of X equal to 6. N1 is the number of moles of water, N2 is the number of moles of sodium carbon. It is so the value of X. Then we have question number 9. So answer is a type of repeated question. So be careful. It's a hybridization, always a repeated type question. Okay. Question number 9. Hybridization of carbon in CH3 minus. What will be the hybridization of carbon? Option A sp2, option B sp3, option C sp3d, option D sp3d2, option E sp3d. Answer is answer hybridization B of carbon. B. How we will find this answer? The question is to find hybridization. Always remember, try to by heart the equation for hybridization. Z is equal to 1 by 2 into Z is equal to 1 by 2 into number of valence electron in the main atom. Here the main atom is carbon. Its hybridization is we have to find the hybridization of carbon. So the main atom is carbon. Number of valence electron, outermost shell electron in main atom, plus if there is a negative charge, add that value, minus a positive charge. If there is a positive charge, subtract the value, plus number of monovalent atom. That is the valency is 1. Atoms with valency is 1, which is connected to the main atom. Okay. So remember this equation. Z is equal to 1 by 2 number of valence electron in main atom, plus our negative charge. If there is a negative charge, add. If positive charge, subtract, plus number of monovalent atom. Then the value of Z, if it is C equal to 2, it is sp hybridization. If it is 3, sp2, 4, sp3, 5, sp3d, 6, sp3d2, 7, sp3d3. Okay, remember this table 2. So first find the value of Z, then using this table we can predict the hybridization. So here we have carbon atom with electronic configuration 2 and 4. Okay, so the number of valence electron in the carbon, first orbital contains 2 electron, second orbital, total atomic number is 6. It is configured as 2, 4. Total it is 6. So it is configured as 2, 4. So number of valence electron in carbon atom is 4. So equation Z is equal to 1 by 2 number of valence electron in main atom is carbon, its electronic configuration, write its electronic configuration, and find the valence number of electron, last shell electron, that is 4. Our compound is CH3 minus, right?
CH3 minus. So a negative charge is there. So add the negative charge. No positive charge. So instead of positive charge, there is no charge. So minus 0 plus 3. This plus 3 is from the monovalent atom CH3 minus. Our compound is CH3 minus. So how many monovalent atoms? Hydrogen is a monovalent atom. 3 monovalent atoms. So 1 by 2 into 4. 4 means valence electron in the main atom. Carbon is the main atom. Its electronic configuration is 2, 4. Okay. Total atomic number 6. So electronic configuration 2, 4. So valence number of electron 4. Outermost electron 4. A negative charge is there in our problem, CH3 minus. So add plus 1. No positive charge. And there are 3 monovalent hydrogen atoms. So plus 3. Altogether we have the value of Z, which is equal to 4. So remember this table. Hybridization
Question number 10.
sp3.
What gas is produced from?
B.
Option A, passing steam over red hot coke. Option B, passing steam and air over red hot coke. Option C, burning coke in excess air. Option D, burning coke in limited supply of air. Option E, passing both A and B, passing steam over red hot coke and passing steam and air over red hot coke. Our answer is answer A. In order to know its answer, you should know what is a water gas and how it is formed. It's a direct question. Water gas, it is actually formed from reacting steam and syngases, carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas, which are formed from, which are the gases formed from red hot coke. So passing steam over red hot coke, which contain carbon monoxide and hydrogen, it will release water gas. A chemical reaction in which carbon monoxide of syngas react with steam to give carbon dioxide gas, which is known as water gas. Carbon dioxide gas is our water gas. Okay. So how water gas is formed? By passing reacting the carbon monoxide and steam. Red hot coke produce carbon monoxide. When only steam is passes through a carbon monoxide, it will release water gas. Okay. Question number 11.
Answer A.
The correct increasing order of the acidic strength of acid. Butyric acid. A, 2 or B, 2-chlorobutyric acid. C, 3-chlorobutyric acid. And D, 2,2-dichlorobutyric acid. What will be the increasing order of the following acid A, B, C and D? Option A less than B less than C less than D. Option B, C less than B less than D less than A. Option C, A less than C less than B less than D. Option D, C less than A less than B less than D. Option E, D less than C less than B less than A. What will be the increasing order of acid strength of the following 4 acids? Our answer is answer C. How we will find the acid strength or similar related questions? We know that an acid decomposes into H plus and A minus, where this A minus is known as conjugate base of acid HA. HA is the amine acid. It release H plus and form A minus, which is known as the conjugate base. And acidic strength is completely depend upon the stability of this conjugate base. That means as the stability of conjugate base increases, this A minus conjugate base stability increases, acidic strength also increases. Stability of acid depends on stability of its conjugate base. And what are the factors that affect stability of conjugate base? First one, presence of electron withdrawing group. Minus I groups, we have electron withdrawing group. Chlorine, bromine likewise. The presence of electron withdrawing group increases the conjugate stability. So similar groups came, the acid become more strength.
Then closeness of electron withdrawing group from COH group. It's an acid. It mainly contain a COOH group. Okay. So closeness of the electron withdrawing group from COH group also affect the conjugate base. As the closeness increases, the stability or strength increases. Then the number of electron withdrawing group, another factor. If the number of electron withdrawing group increases, acidic strength or conjugate base strength increases. So combining these three factors, there should be electron withdrawing group. If more electron withdrawing groups are there, that acid will be stronger. Then if one electron withdrawing group is near to the COH group, then that acid will be more stronger. Okay, closeness to the electron withdrawing group from COH. So considering the three conditions, mainly considering three conditions, we will find the answer. Compare the four following acids which is given in our question, then find the main
among
answer.
acids,
By considering
butyric
the three
acid,
conditions.
2-chlorobutyric acid, 3-chlorobutyric acid, 2,2-dichlorobutyric acid. Butyric acid means it is actually butanoic acid. So in butyric acid, first one, a butyric acid, there is no electron withdrawing group. No electron withdrawing group, -I group. 2-chlorobutyric acid, it contains one electron withdrawing group, that is chloro group, in second position from COH. 3-chlorobutyric acid, it contains one electron withdrawing group which is in third position. Okay. Option B, it is second position, more close to the COH. Third option, it is third position. Okay. D, 2,2-dichlorobutyric acid, that is it contains two electron withdrawing group, -I group. Only D contain two withdrawing group. A does not contain any withdrawing group, so its stability is the least. Okay. Least stability is for option A, butyric acid, and the most stable will be 2,2-dichlorobutyric acid because it contains two electron withdrawing group. Then comparing B and C, in B its position is second, more close to the COH. In C it is third. So what will be the order? Order will be A. The least is for A. Then comes C, less than B. The final one is D. So A, C, D, B and D. It's our answer. So consider three conditions. Check the presence of electron withdrawing group. Find the number of electron withdrawing group. It is high, then the acid will be stronger. And the position of electron withdrawing group, it is near to COH, then that acid will be stronger. So compare all three Question
conditions.
number 12.
Our answer is
It
A
is
less than C less than
from
B
the
less than
reactivity
D.
of alkyl halide. That is correct order of increasing reactivity of following alkyl halide. 4 alkyl halides are given. Towards SN2 displacement reaction, we have 4 options: 1, 2, 3, 4. So in order to solve the equation, you should know what are the factors affecting reactivity of alkyl halide. What are the factors affecting the reactivity of alkyl halide? This towards SN2 reaction. So first to check from which category this alkyl halide belongs. That is, when we remove SN2 displacement reaction, nucleophilic displacement reaction, that is one halogen is removed. Okay, and removed, it will lead to the formation of carbocation. When one halogen is removed, it will lead to carbocation formation. It is which type carbocation? Option A. Option A. When Br is removed, we have CH3, CH2, CH plus CH3. It is a secondary type carbocation. When SN2 displacement in option B, it will lead to, when Br is removed, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2 plus. It is a primary type, primary carbocation. Option C,
CH3 twice C plus CH2CH3. It is a tertiary type. And option D, again, it is a primary type. So, answer to this question is obtained by considering the nature of carbocation formed from alkyl halide. Option A, it is a secondary type. One Br is removed, it's a secondary type carbocation. Option B, it is a primary type carbocation. Option C, it is a tertiary type. And option D, it is again a primary type.
Here,
two
answer
primary
is
types,
answer
one
two.
tertiary
How will
and
we reach
one
into this
secondary.
answer?
Then what
For
will
a
be the
second
answer?
displacement reaction, reactivity order of carbocation is as follows. Primary greater than secondary greater than tertiary. As we all know, SN2 nucleophilic displacement reaction take place in a single step. That is, nucleophile attack from rear side and the leaving group leave the molecule from its opposite side. So, in primary carbocation, it is connected to one other group. So, there is minimum steric hindrance or less steric hindrance compared to tertiary and secondary. In secondary, it is connected to two other groups. So, there is more steric hindrance than primary. Then tertiary, it is connected to three other groups. So, there is more steric hindrance compared to primary and secondary. So, steric hindrance, as steric hindrance increases, stability decreases. So, primary is more stable than secondary, which is more stable than tertiary. Okay. Also, in SN2 reaction, the reactivity order of halide, both in SN2 and SN1, which is iodine greater than bromine greater than chlorine greater than fluorine. Because we know that Hi bond is the weakest bond among halogens. Because of the less electronegativity of iodine, Hi bond is the weaker bond compared to Br bond, HCl bond, HF bond. HF is the highly stable bond, HF, because fluorine has the highest electronegativity. So, as our H halide bond weakens, the reactivity increases. So, HI is more reactive than HBr, more reactive than HCl, and more reactive than HF. Okay, so comparing these two conditions, we will reach into our final answer, which is answer 2, C less than A less than D less than B. When we compare the molecule C, we can see it is a tertiary carbocation, and molecule A, which is a secondary carbocation. The molecule B and D, it is a primary carbocation. Among this primary carbocation D and B, D is connected to Cl halogen. So, halide is chlorine in D and halide is Br in B. So, first comes the least stable one is tertiary carbocation containing molecule C. Then comes secondary carbocation containing molecule A. Then comes two primary carbocations. Among this, carbocation connected to the halide chlorine, that is molecule D. Then the highly reactive one, that is primary carbocation containing the halide Br. Okay. So, answer is Question
answer
number
2.
13. The condensation reaction between one equivalent of acetone and two equivalents of benzaldehyde in presence of dilute alkali leads to the formation of option A, benzyl acetophenone, option B, benzylidene acetone, option C, dibenzylidene acetone, option D, benzoic acid and acetic acid, option E, only benzoic
answer
acid.
is
What will be
answer
the
C.
product? When acetone
In which
and two
two
equivalents
moles
of
of benzaldehyde
treated
react
in
with
presence of
1
dilute
mole
alkali.
of acetone in presence of dilute alkali. It's an example for aldol condensation. Aldehyde and ketone react in presence of dilute alkali.
It's an example for aldol condensation. What will be the product obtained during this aldol condensation? During aldol condensation, from ketone, from the CH3 group
and from this benzaldehyde, this C double bond or H group react together and eliminate water molecule. So the new bond formed between this C double bond or H and CH3 is C double bond O. That is from our ketone. C double bond O, CH2, CH2 benzene ring. Similarly, there are 2 moles of benzaldehyde. So second mole react with the another CH3 group in ketone, and eliminate water molecule. So this CH3 group is converted into, after aldol condensation, is converted by eliminating water into CH2 benzene ring. So this molecule is known as 2 benzyl group are here. Dibenzylidene acetophenone.
Question number 14.
So answer is
the product
answer
Y
C.
for the following reaction. What will be the product for the following reaction? We have 4 options. Option A, B, C and D.
Here answer is answer C, because it is an example for carbalamine reaction, that is conversion of an amine group into isocyanide when it react with chloroform in presence of KOH. That is our reaction, our aniline when react with chloroform in presence of KOH, the NH2 group in amine, in aniline, undergo the carbalamine reaction and converted into isocyanide, that is N triple bond C. Isocyanide means N triple bond C. Cyanide means Cn. C triple bond N. So carbalamine reaction, it is a method to prepare isocyanide from amine. Okay, so our answer is answer C.
Name of the following
We will get
reaction.
Isocyanide
From
from
reaction
amine.
is given here.
Answer C.
Name the reaction. Here the phenol first treated with carbon dioxide and NaOH. The second step again it is treated with, the product obtained is treated with sulfuric acid. So one COOH group is inserted in the ortho position of phenol. What will be the reaction's name? Option A, Raymer-Tamer reaction. Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. Option C, Cannizzaro reaction. Option D, Gattermann reaction. Option E, Gattermann-Koch reaction. Answer is answer B. That is, the given reaction name is Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. This is the preparation. Kolbe-Schmidt reaction is used to prepare salicylic acid from phenol. So, during Kolbe-Schmidt reaction, first react with carbon dioxide and NaOH. Then it is acidified with sulfuric acid. So we will get salicylic acid. One COH group is introduced into ortho position. Okay. Then the example for Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. Okay. In this session, we already discussed 15 questions from Chem 2017, paper 1 chemistry. Refer this. It will be helpful for your Chem preparation. The remaining questions we will discuss in our next video. Thank you for listening. Thank you.